To be honest, the reason why I think there's so much mental health issues at the moment is we have this false belief that you're supposed to be happy all the time. And if that's your belief, when you're not happy, then you're like, something's wrong. Instead of believing that everything's supposed to be hard. I even tell my kids, do what's hard, your life will be easy. Do what's easy, your life will be hard. The unanimous decision, they read the wrong number. So I was like, oh, I lost again?
Wow.
I just turned around, walked off, like thinking, oh God, another overall loss. Turns out it was a mistake call.
Yeah.
But yeah, that situation, made me aware that, you can lose.
Yeah, 100%.
I remember one time he was playing sport and one of the other parents said to him, oh, just to their child, oh, just go and have fun. And then I turned to my son, I said, do we play for fun? He goes, no, Dad. I go, what do you play for? And he goes, to win. And I go, and then I looked at him and said, and what's winning? He goes, that's fun. I go, have fun then. He goes, great.
He'll look, put his finger in your mouth. He'll possibly operate on your favorite pet. Makes Harry's practice made for chumps. Bondi vet, next level. Does a fresh fade justice. His dunks a world championship and part of one of his many dress codes.
True.
He'll judge you for good reason. Please help me welcome our Australian latest overall men's physique champion, pro, Dr. Dash Abdullahi.
Abdullahi, yeah.
How are you, mate?
Good.
Let's do a fist pump. I feel like we're ready to go. You good?
Very good, very good. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so yeah.
It is. I'm going to get into that. So let's start with my first little question here. Which one shall we start with? Or that you decided to do first? Dentistry, veterinarian, or bodybuilding?
Oh, bodybuilding. Bodybuilding was like the thing that kind of. I always say I was about almost 16, so 15. So just say 15. I used to play a lot of sports, play a lot of music, and the decision was made that I had to take academics more seriously. So had to stop all of that stuff.
I'm assuming family upbringing or not?
Not really. Like you were always able to choose, but I was always a good student. So like, it was kind of natural direction that.
What did you play for music? What was your thing?
Everything. Yeah, so piano, and then.
Mate,
I'm the classic nerd. Trust me.
Chris,
the other one
is everything.
The other one, I used to play the flute. I was pretty good at that too.
Make sure you play romantic music in the background here.
I'm like, if you want to be bullied, sit in the front row of the concert band at school assembly, play the flute. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So you could play the flute.
Yeah.
You could play pretty much all the instruments. I'm assuming.
Piano, you got to that point.
Got to the point.
Yeah.
Can I ask? All right, because we're going to talk bodybuilding. How does music capture something? Because it doesn't. Look, I love music. I love the idea of that guitar. I just can't do it. I can't even do things academically, to be honest. What is it? What is it about you or someone like you? Because we're going to go through everything you do. Mm-hmm. Why are you kind of like the all or nothing, if I could say that? Or is it like you're somehow driven in and you're in? I don't know. Well, tell me about that.
I have actually really no explanation of why. It's just if I decide to do something, I want to be good at it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take part. I just I want to see how far I can go. Whether I like it or not. That's the thing. I might not even like the thing that I'm trying to do, but if you give me a thing to do and I find it somewhat engaging, I'll do my best, to be the best at it if I can, whether I have the ability naturally or not, right? So music was always a struggle because I'm not good at it, right? But everyone in my family does it, and I actually don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I actually don't enjoy it, but like everyone else in my family does, so I figured I should do it too. School, I was a bad student. If you saw me in primary school, I remember even one time I got told to get my eyes checked because I was copying things incorrectly from the board. Apparently perfect vision. So yeah, like I was just bad at everything, but because I saw other people that were good at it, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should try a bit
Are
harder.
you competitive?
To the nth degree. Yeah. Yeah. If it's me and you, you're losing.
Hey, whoa, okay, just my chair. Even the look.
Even my son, I kind of hate sometimes that I demonstrate this so well.
Hang on, I'm still trying to get over the losing part. Let me just let me regroup, because you had the eye of the tiger. It scared me for a moment, but I like it. But go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
But even like I hate the fact that I demonstrate it so well sometimes that I remember one time he was playing sport and one of the other parents said to him, "Oh, just to their child, oh, just go and have fun." And then I turned to my son. I said, "Do we play for fun?" He goes, "No, Dad." I go, "What do you play for?" And he goes, "To win." And I go, and then I looked at him and said, "And what's winning?" He goes, "That's fun." I go have fun then. He goes, "Great." So, and then and he was only like maybe 6.
Well, I tell you what, my son is 17.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is, all right, quick story. Even I dropped him off at a party.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, and he doesn't want me to take him to. They never want to take you too close to the
that's
party,
right.
right? But I dropped him off, and usually I got a few cars like M3s and Porsche and WRX and Evos.
Yeah.
Anyway, every time I drop him off, like he gets out of the car and I go, "Listen," I go, "You got to keep it together." I said, "I need you composed." I said, "You're going to drink, I get it, but just water, drink water, get a bit fun, but don't lose yourself, and know your longest reach." In other words, if trouble happens, if your front kicks in, go in.
That's right.
Like, what can you do?
That's right.
I said to him, even when we went camping, and he wouldn't give me any of the details because he said, "Dad, guys don't do that." I said, "All right, you know your longest reach, don't you?" And that was it. All I want to know is come out here, you're going in.
That's right.
And that's I'm pretty much the same as you.
Yeah.
Even when he goes to school first year, I go, "Right, you're going to sit at the front of the class." I go, that's the only rule I have. Sit at the front of the class. Yeah. Because the answers are there. Okay, the answers there, and you get free marks. Because the teacher sees you and says, "Oh, he got close to 80. We can make it 80. Yeah. But when you're down the back and you're 49 out of 100, she goes, "Oh, we're going to leave it that way."
Yeah.
So I'd say to him, front of the class, longest reach.
Yeah, it's true.
So
statistically, the best student sits furthest to the front and closest to the center.
What's that?
Statistically, the best student sits closest to the front.
Yes.
And closest to the center.
Yeah, 100%. And I didn't know that till I left school.
And I found that out at university at the time when they said it. I was sitting in the back corner because I rolled in late, and I was like, and everyone turned around to see who's in the back corners, and I'm sitting there like, God.
Yeah, no, look, we can get right off the podcast. We'll do it. So, all right. So, bodybuilding, 15, 16, music. That you thought I'm going to go academic.
Yes.
So, but tell me.
So I needed time.
But before that, when was the first? Because I've got that question in there. But let's go with it. When did you first touch weights? How old do you reckon?
Oh God. I think I was maybe 6, 7 years old.
Wow. Who was doing it? And what made you?
I had an uncle that just had some dumbbells and I just I see him messing around with them. So I was like, let's see if I can lift this. And he was in pretty good shape, And then I was like, kind of a lot of sports around, and kind of you're just interested. But I was a skinny kid. I didn't know what was what. So, I was only, before I started training, I was only 57 kilos. So I was like,
wow. Yeah. What are you weighing now?
Right now, 95.8 at the moment. So I'm trying to behave myself.
What did you get down to?
Contest weight. At nationals, it was 90.8. It was pretty light, actually. Yeah. But at the state show, it was 92.8. So I somehow managed to lose another couple of kilos in between. So,
wow. Yes, yeah. All right, so 6-year-old uncle touched some weights. And did that go into your teenage years as well?
No, not really. I come from a tennis family. So, hardcore tennis family. So that wasn't favorable.
I'm just thinking what you said to your son. You probably heard that all your life now. That was probably you're probably passing on what you heard. Your dad said, "What's fun? Winning." That's fun.
Absolutely. No, you do not lose. You can't.
Wow, I'm going to hang out with you guys.
You can't.
Chris, we're going to move in with these guys.
You'd be scared to come home if you didn't. If you came second on a test or
really?
If you not even if you came, I remember even I got 96% on a, I was like, Dad, came first in the maths test again. And he goes, what'd you get? And I was like, 96. And he goes, so you got something wrong. I'm like, yeah. He goes, turns around, walks away.
Oh man,
I was like, God, I can't even win.
God,
Winning's not enough.
Hey guys, Steve here from Muscle Talks. I just want to say thank you for you guys being here. Thank you for watching this podcast. What I'd really love is for you guys to hit the subscribe button. Why hit the subscribe button? It'll just allow us to have a bigger reach, allow us to go get a bigger audience, and also bring you the best of the best here. Our goal here is to not only get our local people, but also international, and eventually, and hopefully, and will be bringing the Olympians to this station, Muscle Talks podcast. So please hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell. So every time our podcast is launched weekly, that you get notified and you can sit back and enjoy this. Thanks, guys.
Maybe we could turn this whole podcast just into growing up and memories, and struggles, and why wasn't that enough? And also how they work together. The synergy between your mum, I'm assuming, and your dad. There's not that synergy anymore. Hear me out, like. Men can't say those things anymore. It's like you're going to get pulled up by the missus and say, I don't think you should be so hard on him and do this. And you're thinking like, just let it go. It's okay. You can, like he can do with a pat on the head, but let me do that part at least.
It's true. Like I do think like my output, it was a bit extreme for sure, but it generates results for sure. But then there's like there's a lot of like, how do you say? You build a lot of anxiety into a child if you do that. So like you have to be very cautious on which and how often you apply this technique to, right? Because it was always a never ending in our house.
No.
But it worked. Every one of my siblings is A+. So like,
wow.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna go to that. So I want to find out more about your mum and dad too, because I mean generally. All right. So bodybuilding, and okay, then you decide. When did you decide academic? I'm going in.
Dad gave me a choice. It was year 10.
I knew it was a choice from Dad.
No. He said, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, he goes, 11, 12 coming. Do you want to leave school? That's okay. Do a trade, open a shop, whatever you want to do. Or do you want to go to university? Because I don't want you doing year 11, 12, waste time. If you're not gonna go to university, you got to think about something else. Like he's like, there's no issue with doing a trade. I said to him, like, look at me. I'm like, do I look like I do manual labor? Like, he goes, no. And I'm like, yeah. So you know the answer to this question before you and I say. He goes, yeah, obviously. But I just wanted to give you the choice. And I was like, he goes, because I want to give you the choice, because if you make the choice, that's what you're doing. I'm like, okay. So that's what I did. Yeah. So then I had to.
So you wanted to go to uni? Did you know what you wanted to do?
Yeah. Well, Dad's a dentist, so I knew what I was going to do when I was 2. If you asked me when I was 2, I would have told you.
I brushed my teeth a second time today because apparently you get more chicks if you've got good teeth. Apparently, that's what you said.
Absolutely.
But no, anyway, you said something about. I've got all that written down. We're going to get to that. All right. So your dad's a dentist. You decided to become a dentist. You knew you were going to be a dentist from 2.
Yeah.
Go on.
But I wasn't a good student, so I knew what I had to do, right? So I could see what the good students were doing.
What were they doing?
Just incredible attention to effort, like Sydney, like a lot of Asian population. So I'm watching all these kids, like, like doing all the tutoring and doing like just going to the next level. And I was like, okay, so and they're smart. I'm like, what do I have to do now? Because I'm not like them. So whatever they're doing, I have to double it. so that's what I did. That's what I did.
I'm really enjoying the podcast with you, man. I tell you, I still haven't got over the beat me part, but you are, like I said, we only just started, but the choices you're making, but the realistic choices that you're saying. And I keep saying this to Chris and even my kids. It's all time. In other words, and you correct me if I'm wrong, if someone said, if you run once a week for 12 months, you're going to get fit. So you're telling me if I run twice a week, I'll get fit in 6 months, pretty much. Like it kind of works mathematically, meaning the more you intensify it, you invest in it, it can come a bit quicker to you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think you, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying, well, if they're doing it, I need to double it.
Yeah.
I need to get in. But I'm not saying in time frame, I mean, you're still going to do year 12.
You have to, I think there has to be an understanding of
an intensity.
Like talent alone will not get you there.
No,
right?
No.
Work ethic alone will not get you there. You have to have a combination of both to some degree. But you have to be honest with yourself. Where do you sit, right? Because, you know, you see it all the time. It doesn't matter the activity. Like, you can beat your head against the wall, but if you don't have it, you don't have it, right? You know, you can put in, you can triple the amount of work, quadruple the amount of work.
No, true.
You know, but if you don't have it, you don't have it, right? But the reverse is also true. If you have it and then you don't apply it, which I see all the time, especially in bodybuilding, you see the best guys, they come and go because they were so good, they didn't have to apply effort. And once they got to the highest level, they knew how much effort they had to do, and they just didn't.
Yeah, there's a fine line. I think the other part is, and I've come to this realization myself, I mean, from 0 to 90, regardless what the age is, or as we grow older, we seem to start backing off, meaning our effort levels. But I can't act like a 21-year-old, but I can act better than a 54-year-old.
Absolutely.
And that's what I keep looking at, that at the end of the day, while I'm at the gym, a 54-year-old that's not at the gym, I guess he's not picking up, 50 kilo or 25 or 30 kilo dumbbells. So I'm already 30 kilos stronger than him because so his depletion is going to be a lot quicker than my depletion because I'm holding on to whatever I can hold on to. It's going to go, but I'm just going to fight like tooth and nail till I know. But I also know it's not just the training. Collagen, vitamins, greens, egg whites, protein powder, shake and sleep, grilled. Still till today, where I thought I thought when I trained between 20 and 30, it was done. I thought 30, I'm done, and I realized, my God, I'm still in the ring, still in the ring. Like, and it's gone in 2-3 years if I'm not in there. It's like gone.
Yeah. Like,
meaning you can come back and you come back a bit better, but it's relentless. Like, you just got to keep turning up. Just turn up. This quarter of this year, I went twice a week because I really didn't want to, but I might have to go 3 times the next quarter, or you just got to play around with it, but it just will never stop.
Yeah. But also always like the task is very simple, right?
It is very simple.
It's not difficult.
No.
Right? I would say, like, you can be me for a day. That's not hard. Right? No. You can do exactly what I do for a day. You can be me for a week. That's achievable for most people. Can you be me for a month? I doubt it. I doubt it, because it's like that relentless consistency. It's soul crushing, and you just got to keep on doing it over and over and over. And that's what's hard. Like,
it is. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things you said about. You said something which I've said before about we judge people. And there's a according why we do it, and it's natural. So all right, then. So you went to become a dentist, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you heard at the back of the university auditorium that you should sit at the front, so you moved yourself to the front. But having said that, veterinarian.
So yeah, how this happened was
was it Lassie?
No, so what happened was I studied my ass off, right? So minimum 6 hours a day, studying every day, 10 hours a day on the weekend. And that's actually how the training started coming in. Because I was like, I said to my dad, I can't sit in my room every day. I've got I went from like racing motocross, playing tennis, like all these other sports, and then music, and my schedule was full. And then all of a sudden now I'm just in my room. Every day.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you go to the gym? I'm like, what's that? Yeah. And he's like, okay, I'll show you. And he took me to the gym. He has no idea what he's doing. I didn't know at the time. But, Dad shows you. And then I kind of liked it, like I started like very quickly got results. Like, I went from 57 kilos to 82 in my first year of training. Like, so
that's big.
Yeah. Like I morphed into a new human, right?
Yeah. Man, play that.
And everyone could see, to the point where my parents got called to the school because they thought I was using PEDs in high school. So it was like that quick, because but I think really the real explanation is I was probably supposed to be that size, but because I was doing endurance activities all the time and not eating very much and didn't really have an appetite.
What's your background?
My dad's Persian, my mom's Filipino. So
Persian,
so, but because I was so busy all the time, I never really spent time eating, and then once the training started happening, my appetite went up, and then that's when I started growing very quick.
I just need some space. just eat from space. Space. I just eat from space.
You know.
Well, obviously it's so. Okay, let's go into the veterinarian.
Yeah. So got into dental school, and turns out I didn't like it. All right. But we grew up on like an acreage with lots of animals and stuff, and I used to ride horses as a kid, and kind of always wanted to be a racehorse vet. You know, like so. You know, that's kind of in the back of my mind, even though that dentistry was a thing. In what I really wanted to do was be a vet. Right? So, to my dad's big disappointment, I changed over to a different program, and yeah, like the very first day of vet school, you know, when they put a scalpel in your hand and say cut this, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
You love it.
They do on purpose because everyone thinks it's puppies and kittens, and you know, like. And you lose like, you know, a few people on that first day because they don't understand that it's actually not just you know, patting puppies and, you know, playing around with these cute animals. You know, it's a real job.
Yeah. And so you said you like that.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. And then the second day we're outside on a farm and got to dehorn some cows, and you know, like I was like, okay, like, you know, this is active. It's academic, but it's active too. You know, I could, you know, be outside and could be inside, and you know, so it was a good balance. You know, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Then became a racehorse vet. Then you realize the true state of, like, if you like animals, it's kind of, once you're really inside, you kind of see what it is. You know, and the racing industry has a lot of, how do you say, you have to turn a blind eye sometimes to some of the practices that happen there. So veterinary dentist was down at the track one day, and I got to see what they were doing, and I got pretty interested in what they were doing, and then pretty much it was like spending all my time with them.
Wow.
And then, yeah, that's how I started getting into the dentistry through animals. And then
so what do you do exactly right now? So you are...
I'm a vet and a dentist, but almost always a dentist now, because now I just don't have time. I don't have time to be a vet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking. So is the anatomy is what fascinates you? Do you think it's anatomy?
I think it's just,
because bodybuilding.
I think it's just stuff that fascinates me. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be Rubik's Cube. I don't care.
Wow.
I don't really care what it is.
All right. Congrats. So
tying fishing knots. I don't care. Like it's
wow.
It's,
far out, man. Yeah. Congratulations. Please share with us what you just achieved recently. So tell us exactly what happened.
So like
in your words, I can guess it.
Yeah, it was like a idea that I had that I, you know, always trained and enjoyed it, but never really thought of being a professional bodybuilder. You know, like it was like, this is like something that was like.
Little did they know you don't lose. By the way, little did they know what was coming.
Yeah, like it's, as opposed to say some of the kids in the gym, I want to be a pro bodybuilder. Like, that wasn't on the agenda at all for me. I just like doing it. But then when I saw that I was potentially capable of it, then I was like, okay, if I put my mind to this, maybe I can do it. And then, you know, like, it's a difficult task. It's a very, like, you know, like sports is like that. It's not like, I always say this, like, if I want to be a lawyer tomorrow, no problems. Like, I'll go enroll into law school, sit the classes, do the exams. 4 years time, I'm a lawyer, right? Yes. That's not like, you know, if you do the work, you'll get it.
Yes, of course.
Sports is different. You can put in the work and never get there, right? You know, like, that's just the reality of it, you know?
It is.
And with this, you know, I knew I was capable of it, but, you know, I just didn't know. Like, you lose enough that, you know, you get really aware of, like, how, you know, it's a bit of opinion on the day. Anything can happen. You can make mistakes. You can not sleep well the night before.
I've heard some stories.
You can
about
do
people.
like, you know, and there's always some freak there that you don't know about. You know, that's training in their garage. You know, like, you know, that you don't know. Like this.
It's also, I believe, you tell me if I'm wrong, I think it's rocking up and seeing these guys and then second dating yourself too, because you're looking at good physiques in front of you. You pretty much can't see yours because there's no mirror, and you're kind of stuck on looking around the room, and there's these bodies and look at his arms. Oh my God, look at that guy. And what's going on there? And so you're kind of like constantly challenged even then and there.
Yeah, but earlier on, I was like more confident. You know, like I would turn up at shows thinking I'm going to run over people, like, you know, I couldn't lose, and then you lose, and you're like, oh, you become very aware of your capacity to lose.
Yes.
This was the least confident I'd ever been, even
Wow.
though everyone was telling me it's like, you know, you're going to win, and in my head I was like, well, like, yeah, am I? You know, like, you know, you lose enough that you're like, yeah, it's very possible that, you know. And then I had that small experience at the state show. I don't know if you saw, where there was a mistake called
All right.
at the overall, and it was a unanimous decision. They read the wrong number. So I was like, oh, I lost again.
Wow.
I just turned around, walked off, like, you know, like thinking, oh God, another overall loss. Turns out it was a mistake call.
Yeah.
But yeah, that situation, you know, made me aware that, yeah, you know, like you can lose.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so finally I was able to pull it off and achieve like something that I didn't think was, you know.
So you're national champion.
Yeah.
You overall,
yeah.
and you got your pro card.
Correct, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that feeling when they announced your name and it was done? The job was done.
A little bit of disbelief, to be honest.
Yeah,
because, you know, even up until this week still doesn't feel real, you know, like, because you try so hard for so long, and now you made it, and then you're like, okay, what now? You know.
I guess it is what now. Like, I mean, well, before we go into the what now, because I got that question, you competed in 2022, but tell us all your comps quickly. Like, when did you start competing? What were some of the comps?
Yeah.
Because I've got your 2022, and I was going to ask you, what's the difference between because you won that comp too in 2022, didn't you? I saw that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sit there and you're wondering, like, I've got to zoom in to see how much you've changed your look, or you got your goatee going.
Oh, yeah. Everyone says that. Yeah.
Like, sometimes I think it's the same guy. Is he got running a mohawk this time? What's he doing? You know?
Yeah.
So just quickly, what comps have you done?
So I started competing a long time ago when there was just bodybuilding. So it was men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, and figure. That's it.
That's all it was. I remember.
Simple shows, right?
I remember that.
Morning show, night show format, pretty old school. But it was good. It was simple, you know. Criteria was simple, you know. Be the biggest, be the most shredded.
That's it.
You know.
Yeah.
Symmetry, proportion, yeah. Did pretty well. But it was blatantly obvious that at 80, like in open bodybuilding, I was only 86 kilos on stage. And at the time, Ronnie Coleman was Mr. Olympia. So I'm not going to be 140 kilos, you know, like I just, you know, and then
it was unattainable. You felt like this, like.
Well, I tried. I put in.
How tall are you?
177. So
what's that?
Just shy of under. So about 5'10". Yeah,
5'10". We're about, but me and you are the same height. But that's what I'm saying is, isn't it funny? I'm 100 kilos.
Yeah.
I mean, I hold fat well, I think.
True.
Proportionally.
Yeah.
But I was telling Chris, I'm usually 85 kilos.
Yes.
And look how big you look at 85. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I was trying to explain to Chris, you don't understand. It's an illusion. Once I'm 85, I'm not smaller. I'm just more muscular.
Yes.
But you're just seeing this at the moment. But go on, yeah. So you weren't going to go to the extremes that these bodybuilders were going, or you didn't want to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I wanted to now, if I would even be genetically capable of being that big. You know, like maybe, but like, also the older you get, the more you become aware of the health aspect of being that large at all, being older.
Course,
I'm not young anymore, so it's like this is a real thing. Like the health side of it is important. But you know, at that age, I just wasn't that interested in being that big. You know, so I kind of put it away for a little bit. Still trained, still like. Never,
what were the shows back? What were the shows back then you were in? Do you remember something?
The IFBB. Yeah,
so
when the Grahams used to.
I
only ever did IFBB. Yeah.
Okay, so IFBB, the Grahams, I remember all that. Yes, correct.
Yeah. And then so kind of started putting more emphasis on you know, study and work and things like that, and having kids and
just
all the normal stuff.
And just a hobby.
Yeah, never missed a week of training. Right, always trained. Diet was here and there, you know, much more relaxed approach. And then after my third child came, I was like looking in the mirror and
but now you're looking like a dad.
Not good. Now
he's looking like a dad.
Yeah, like I still had some muscle, but I was like, damn, you're a bit soft. You know, like, you know, pudgy face. You know, like I was like, I was like, this is not
Jesus Christ.
like this is not you. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I contacted one of my good friends, like very accomplished bodybuilder, Chris Thomas,
Yep.
Alpha Ethos. And when I called him, he was pretty excited, like to get me back in shape again.
Yes.
And the progress came quickly. And then we decided to do a show. That was 2019. I decided on Arnold Classic then.
It's amazing. I went to the show.
Yeah, did really well at that show, surprisingly. And then I kind of at that point realized I was capable of it's actually a funny story. I always wanted to do classic because that's when the smaller divisions came back. That's what made me interested again as well. But it showed me how far the game had progressed.
Oh, yeah.
And I was small, and I didn't realize how small I was. I still did well, but
That's when I turned 50 and I had ripped up for 50 and I was going to compete.
yes,
But just since you're a doctor, I had, it's easy to share, I had colitis and
yes.
it doesn't flare up for years. I didn't see it. It happened to flare up
in the prep.
in the prep and I was still going.
Yes.
I wouldn't stop. You'd
Yeah.
bleed and you fucking wouldn't stop.
yeah.
And I kept it quiet to the point where it was that bad that I lost my appetite. I couldn't even put food in my mouth. I had to go to hospital. Even the nurses said, they looked how, because I hadn't eaten for a week, I was just like completely ripped up. And they gave me a biscuit and then everything changed.
Yeah.
I should have competed in the hospital.
Yes. It's always
But so Arnold did well.
Did well.
Everything changed. What the hell's going on?
Realized then that I was capable of doing really well.
And also they probably had a division in there you liked, which was the physique.
That was by accident actually, because I went in there to do classic.
Okay.
Right. And then for the first time I came third. Like,
For classic?
I'm used to winning.
Yeah, of course you do.
I don't come third. So I was
we
like,
know, mate. We know.
I was
I'm going to
like-
be calling you in the mornings about what my day's going to be like. So I know exactly what my day's going to be like.
in between the state show and the national show, I was like,
And you think I'm hard.
I said to my coach, I was like, I think I might give men's physique a go. And I just really wasn't impressed by the division. You know, well, I trained my legs like an animal. I'm like, why am I going to wear board shorts? Like, like my legs are arguably my best body part.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But like sometimes you got to go where you fit best, and I just didn't realize that that's where I fit. So I went to
You do fit amazingly in that division, but I've watched that division from 2019 to now, and everyone's emphasizing their legs a lot more now, man. Like everybody's hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not judged in that respect.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something under those shorts that makes it appealing to watch that top half of your body a lot. I don't know the criteria. We've had the Black Terminator here, Patrick.
Yeah, he has great legs.
He has great legs. But what I'm alluding to is I know the criteria.
The top guys all have good legs. Put it that way.
Yeah, they have good legs. It looks good. It looks good. I think you need it. I do anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, like long story short, I went to Best and Less. I was like, I'm not going to put money into this. Went to Best and Less, bought board shorts for $2, and then called Amy Fox, and I was like, I don't know how to do this posing. And then she's like, you pose like garbage. I was like, can I just do bodybuilding poses? She said, not really, but like just try. Like so I kind of did half bodybuilding, half men's physique poses, and it's like I still won. But then I was like, okay, like, let's take it more seriously now. But I still wanted to be a classic guy, So I prepped. I said, put down an 18-month plan with my coach. And then we did a proper off season, and I didn't miss a meal, didn't miss a session. Things were going on really well. I made the best progress I'd ever made. And then we were prepping for that, for 18 months later, would have been season B, 2021.
Oh, yes. And then the shutdown happened.
Yeah. 7 weeks out from that competition.
A lot of people.
Shut down, right? So I was like, okay, I'm out, right? When's the next show? I'm kind of in shape. So I was like, I'll stay in shape. Next one, shut down. Next one again, shut down, right? So from 2019, I did not let off at all and made phenomenal progress because I always thought a show was coming, right?
I guess in hindsight, maybe it was a good thing because
Great. It was a great
it was a great thing because I'm thinking you're staying tuned.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're probably adding a bit more to yourself,
Yeah.
a bit more size than cutting it, a bit more
Yeah,
size, cutting it, and you're kind of like
but
that
so
racehorse.
did everyone else, though. That's the thing. So like the standard,
whole sport,
the standard,
yes.
like what did well in 2019 is not even close to what is required now.
I can see it.
Not even close. Like everyone's massive now.
I even saw Classic. Did you see how big they look? These boys.
Even one of the New Zealand pros put up a photo from the Arnold Classic, and there's a photo of there's 5 of us there at that show. 3 of us are now pros, right?
Yeah.
But what we look like then, tiny.
Yeah.
Like what everyone looks like now.
Yeah, it's completely changed.
Yeah. So yeah, but I still want to be a classic guy, right? So I went into that first show doing both. I won the state show in classic, and then again I came 4th for the first time in classic at nationals, and I was like, I can't. Oh, God, it hurts. It hurt. Like not even get a medal. Like
I'm glad
again,
to
not even get a medal.
I'm glad to see another sore loser with me.
It's difficult. Yeah.
No, I am the same. I think it's okay.
But I was like, I still have men's physique to go here, right? Like even though, because I thought in my head I'm a classic guy, you know. I still had men's physique to go, and then that was against Patrick.
Yes.
I won my class. Patrick won his. We were in the overall together.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, do you want a pro card? Other guy. And then Patrick, deservedly won. Like, it was close, but like, he great guy, good competitor.
He is a great guy. Good guy. We've had done a podcast with him.
Yeah, we're good friends now. So
yeah, he's quite a humble guy too. Nice guy.
Yeah. And so then it kind of made it obvious that I was a men's physique guy, but I still wanted to be a classic guy. So I still train legs, still training like all the body parts evenly and doing everything. And then I was like, okay, maybe I need to focus on men's physique now. Like, and then the most recent show, I enlisted a new coach, which is a tough call to do because, Chris Thomas is, since I was 18 years old, he's been my friend. He's been like my mentor in bodybuilding. It was difficult, but also like there was a lot of changes in my family circumstances. I had to do everything different this year. Like it's like my son was sick. There was like a lot of changes that I just needed to redo everything this time.
Well, because I want to hear more about that. Even Ian Thorpe, #1 swimmer in the world, he changed his coach.
It's hard.
Like he's
loyal.
but he's at the top of the game, and he changed his coach, and he swam better. Like I mean, it wasn't the coach. Like this is not coaching, but just quickly, sorry. 40, at 40 somehow I tried to. I don't know. I was in business, burnt out, really bad. I just went and saw a psychologist. No one told me. So I went and saw her. And I saw her name was Jenny. I saw her for years and years and years. She was really good. But eventually I knew exactly what we were going to talk about. So I needed to change. Yeah. I knew how we were going to start, how we we're going to finish. Yeah. And she even said, it's time for you to change. I needed somebody else's approach. I needed something different, which is something I do still, but maybe once every year, once every 6 months, once every quarter. If there's a lot thinking, Chris can't talk to me, you can't talk to me, I've got to go talk to someone unbiased. Yeah, I'll do that. But like I said, you probably needed, with everything you said going on, you needed something that you didn't have clear direction. Someone else was bringing something new.
Yeah. And then the focus was changed too. I enlisted Scott Goebel, and he said, "Look, you're not a classic guy, right?" And he goes, "How many overalls have you been to in classic?" I'm like, "None." He goes, "How many have you been to in men's physique?" Several. And he's like, "Okay, is that not an answer enough?" I'm like, "Okay, fine, right?" And he goes, "Okay, we're changing your training, right? So legs instead of twice a week is now once a week. Let's focus on arms. Let's bring up shoulders and chest, and just change everything. The way I ate changed. Like I was eating a lot of fats before. Now it's like very low fats, very high carbohydrates." I like carbs. So.
There's a myth, isn't it, behind the carbohydrates?
Yeah. And then I'm not a big eater, but yeah, I can put away rice. I don't know the Asian side of me. I don't know. I can eat rice. And then
do you know Jason Huynh?
Yeah.
We had him on the podcast.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He's gonna. When are we launching? In a few weeks. Couple of weeks. We from America. We had him on the podcast.
Amazing.
Live. So we've He's amazing, winning Toronto. He competed with Patrick at a few stages, right?
Yeah.
Amazing guy, really good. And what he does is he makes rice balls.
Yeah.
Meaning he gets the Glad wrap.
Yeah.
He puts somehow the rice in there.
Yeah.
He ties it up and he's got balls.
Yeah.
And then he's driving to work and he's eating it like it's an apple.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can't do that. Like these like bodybuilders, they're so hardcore. I'm like, you know what? I cook 3-4 times a day. I'm like, if I'm gonna eat, like, I'm like, if you're gonna spend the time eating, make it nice. Like, Jesus Christ, you know, like I love cooking, so it's like this is perfect for me. You know, like,
what the fuck can't you do, mate?
I
mean,
no, but it just goes hand in hand. Like if you got to eat the food, make it taste good.
No, I'm
So,
with you.
You know, like
I'm with you. I just
I never like I don't meal prep. I don't do it. Like I look at that, it's disgusting.
Well, I find that I've done meal prep once and I saw the results from it. But like I said to you, I still cook all the time. I do cook a few things and can do things quickly. But I suppose you're I'm assuming you're quite simple in what you make because you know it works, or you're complicated.
Yeah. Because I don't like eating the same food. Like,
Jesus,
like,
I don't know how you do it, man.
So that's another thing that changed. Like I've never done a macros approach to Scott said, like, what do you want to do? I was like, you know what? I've never done macros. Let's try that. So he would give me my macros for the week. I'd write my diet. I don't change, like, it's like, I'm not eating like bullshit, like Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. Like, you know, like they're doing like, you know, calorie mathematics all day. Like I don't do that. I just write my meal plan for the week with that macros I'm allotted. And then just follow that. Every day is the same until I get my next set of macros. Then I write the diet for that week. So it's different. Each week is a different diet.
Wow. Okay.
But it's the same every day for that week. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. I mean, wow, that adds a lot of variety. So
yeah, and made the prep easy because, you know, like, you know, the monotony of it day in, day out, like at least it was only monotonous for 7 days.
You'd be a great coach. Yeah, you would be a great coach because I think I'm saying because you've been coached.
Yes.
I think what makes
in many different ways, I guess.
I think in many different ways, what will make you a great coach is the fact that you've been coached. You've worked with people. You also know what works for you, and you also understand that your personality isn't like everyone else's. So the people you're going to coach, their personalities aren't like yours. So you've got to kind of cater it to that person to make it feel like it is a fun experience.
Yeah,
somewhat a fun experience to get there.
Yeah,
and also know your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, because like obviously from science, like, you know, I'm a science guy. We know what the optimal diet looks like, right? But if you can't stick to it, then what's the point? You know,
what's
like,
the optimal diet?
Like, so like, you know, like if you have to have chocolate in your diet to stay sane, right? You can use that as a fat source.
Yeah, okay.
And that becomes your fats.
Yes,
right?
Yes, yeah.
Then, you know, you put it in your diet. You know, like if that means a couple of rows of chocolate a couple times a day, well, that's your diet. You know, like, you know, like
I'm amazed.
Yeah, like obviously, like ideally you don't, like you have, you know, avocados or, you know, like nuts or something, whatever, as your fat source. But if that means you're not gonna crack, you know, and that's the reality of it.
Mate, that is gold what you just shared.
If you get hungry enough, which is everyone on prep, you know, everyone's capable of cracking.
Man, again to mention Patrick, he cracked many times. He said he really found it hard, and he was overseas, and it was tough. And I was speaking to his coach, which was Scott Salzman, the mechanic, and he even said,
"Yeah, he's a great coach. Yeah,
he's a great coach," and he even said, "Yeah, the diet," and we had him on the podcast too.
Yes,
he's going to be on.
Yeah,
we've had some good guys actually.
Yeah.
So. Obviously, changing coaches helped you. It was hard to do.
It was just different. It was just different. Okay. Everything was different, you know.
Tell me something. 8th of September post, you wrote, very flat here, but it's part of the process. What does that mean?
There's
flat
like this, there's this look that happens when you're prepping and it's not good. Like you but that's how you know you're actually dieting, right? You're like, you go from off season, swole, like big, you know, thick, you know, you feel good. You know, like, you know, you're a bit chubby, but I like that look. You know, you know, you look like a man then. Yeah. You know, you don't look like a guy that wears board shorts. No.
Well, your board shorts look good because you've got strong legs behind them.
But yeah, there's a point in prep that everyone gets to. It doesn't matter how big you are. Like, you know, like even the largest guys get to a point where you start getting really flat and you're starting to look skinny, and psychologically it's not great. You know, like, you know, because you're like, where's my muscle? You know, and but you know, that's how you know once you get to that point, you know, like there's a saying, you got to get flat to get full again.
Wow.
So once you get to that point, you get to the bottom, you know, then you know you can rescue this. But, you know, like you have to get to that point. A lot of people, once you get to that point, that's when then all the stuff starts happening. Like you're not sleeping that well anymore. You know, you persistently hungry. Like, you know, there's never a second of the day where you're not starving.
I remember
the
that.
fatigue starts accumulating. You know, it's difficult to function. You know,
Yeah.
Like it's, if you let those feelings get you, you know, you'll drive the most sanest person crazy. You know. So
Yeah, I saw that.
and there's a solution, right? Like, and you can complain about it as much as you want, but no one cares, right?
No.
You know, because it's like, there's a solution. Quit,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Raid the fridge, raid the cupboard, right? But then you'll lose.
I know it is. It's kind of sometimes even realizing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, things have changed a lot. It's going to bed hungry, but you know your first meal's in the morning, whatever it's going to be, but you've got to get to bed, sleep, so you can get to that meal. And sometimes it's that meal you can't wait for. You get up in the morning, you go, all right, we're here to have that meal now. We start again.
Yes.
And you start again. So each day is a new reset.
Correct.
Today we start, look, my first meal, I've got a few meals to go, which is good. But when you get to that last meal of the day, that's the one that can also play on your mind, because that's the hunger that you get in the middle of the night. And I feel that kind of can crack you a little bit.
All the time. Yeah.
All the time.
For everyone. But, you know, I think you have to have a strategy in place to stop you from doing that. Secondarily, like, how bad do you want it?
100%.
Because, like, I know the best guys, like the top guys, it's always the same every year, and I know them. We're friends. They're not cheating on their diet.
No.
They're not messing around.
No.
If I want to beat my friend, at the very least, I have to be equal to him, right? And he's not quitting.
And
he's telling me he's not quitting.
Yeah.
Because we're talking. But it's camaraderie. It's not like I'm gonna beat you. It's like you know, I want you to be your best, because whoever wins on the day, I won't feel good about it if you're second. Like, if you're not the best representation of you, if I don't beat you at your best, I won't feel good about it.
I think a lot of people, even tennis players, they know that the guys they want to be the best tennis players, the best golfers, the best whoever it is on the field. You're always happy. I'm sure Ronaldo's happy when Messi's on the other side, because the two best soccer players are going for it.
Yeah, and if he's injured and you win, does that feel good?
No, it never does. No. And I know myself, because I've said it before. I wanted to compete when I was 50. I've never competed. And to be honest, I've mentioned it before. That was the first time I ever went on a cycle. I have no coach, all myself. And if I show you my phone, it's written down like it's a thesis. Like, I've written meals, when, how, where I have to go and get this stuff, when I need to get it, what I'm doing here. Like, just everything was written down. That's how I am. I'm methodical as well myself.
Yep.
And that was just turning 50, thinking I wanted to compete and getting colitis. And I don't even know if I can repeat that now, because I went in oblivious.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, for sure.
That's what I mean. I was oblivious. I didn't know. But now that I look at it, I think,
like some of the young guys I coach, and I said, just be careful about investing too much into this, because you might commit everything to it and then hate it.
Yeah, I did
hate it in the end, and you'll feel like you wasted your time. You know?
I've got to say, I love bodybuilding. I love the whole thing. I don't love the way I am right now. That's the truth. But who does?
But who does?
But who does? But the thing,
and if you are, then I feel like that's a problem too.
Yeah, no, I don't, because I've even been in great shape and I haven't been present.
But even in business, if you're happy with what you are now, then you wouldn't keep trying. You know,
no. There's a philosophy.
You have to not be happy.
Well, they say that you're in business because you like solving problems and you can handle stress well. But
it's the same principle. Everything's the same principle.
No, actually, you're right. I'm not happy.
But you shouldn't be.
I'm not. I still can't get over the bit you're going to beat me.
What is happening? I don't even believe in the concept of happiness, honestly, because you have to have suffering and turmoil
but why then
to be happy?
Yeah, but how?
And that's why.
What about those people? All right, let's go here.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Then what about those motherfuckers?
Yeah.
And I love them, some of them, but that they make it seem like their life is, clouds and easy, but
it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It's bullshit, because To be honest, the reason why I think there's so much mental health issues at the moment
Tell me.
is because we have this false belief that you're supposed to be happy all the time. You're like, and if that's your belief, when you're not happy, then you're like, something's wrong, right? Instead of believing that everything's supposed to be hard. You know, I even tell my kids, do what's hard, your life will be easy. Do what's easy, your life will be hard. Right? So if you believe that it's supposed to be hard, then when things are good, you feel good. You feel happy. But if you think things are supposed to be happy, and whenever things are hard, then you're really sad. You're really depressed. You know, like,
man, it's true, but it is lonely, that world.
Yeah.
Because
everyone else is
because the facade they put on, and Chris knows, even in this industry, we're in the bodybuilding industry, and the facade that's in that as well.
Yeah.
But
this hustle culture and all this whatever bullshit.
But I like, I do wonder sometimes. But like I said, I think the best thing is always, is a sense of achievement, even when things are not in your favor. But the fact is, I might myself too. Even last night, I'll give you an example. Last night, I didn't have a really good day Monday. Like, I didn't feel like I achieved things. I didn't have that day. But even I'm trying to sell my Porsche, and I'm really unhappy with it at the moment because I've neglected it. Right, and it was 7 o'clock at night, 7:30, and the sun's going down. And I wrote in that I was going to polish my Porsche because I just wanted. And I started polishing it at 7:30 at night, just the roof. Yeah. And I'm looking at the roof and I go, fuck, it looks good. And then I did the side guard and then I did the door, and I didn't do the complete car. But when I look, I go, this fucking is a good car. Because I was about to give it away for free because I fucking hated my car. I'm like,
you didn't evaluate it.
I did it. And then but at 7:30 at night, I still said, no, I'm going to do it now. So I started polishing it. It's going dark. It looks like it's going to rain. So I'm polishing it. But that's what I'm saying is, like, man, it's not over till you decide it's over. Even I was going to go writing and I had to write your script. I was going to ride my push bike at 10 o'clock at night to go to the gym. I didn't, only because I went on Sunday. I knew I could do it as a rest day, and I wanted to write a night script. But it took me 1 hour to decide because I was fucking pissed off.
But you decided.
I decided. So
and you still did it.
So I did some nice food. I sat down. I put the bike away. I got my dogs in the house, and I started writing the script. And actually, yours was the easiest script to write. Usually, I'm fucking fucked off when I'm writing scripts. Ask Chris.
Trying to search you.
Well, the thing is, I'm nervous because I don't know you, and I'm trying to write something together.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that feeling that you have sometimes is like, I have that feeling all the time. But I make it a point that I have like a list of stuff in my head that I need to do, but I don't make that list very big, right? And then I put like a couple of things that are non-negotiable. This has to get done. Like, it's above the line stuff has to get done, no matter what. Very small list. Sometimes just one thing. Right. Everything else below that, if it can wait till tomorrow.
I'm with you, man.
You know, but the problem is people make that above the line list very long, and it gives them anxiety. Like, you stop. Just be realistic. You know, like
you just gave me something. Look, I think at the moment
that thing was the car. You know, that day that was and then because you needed to do it, but you kind of didn't want to do it, but it was that non-negotiable thing.
It was non-negotiable.
Yeah, so you still did it, and then you felt good about it.
Yeah, because
you did it.
Yeah, because I'm selling it. Yeah, it's a top car, but I'm the type, I like driving my cars. I used to be a perfectionist, but I learned it was a curse too. So I try to be a bit flowing. So I drive my cars. I get out, I drive them. There's bird shit on, a big deal. Whatever. I don't really. What I mean, I cleaned it off, but they're things. They're things, man. Because I know
enjoy them.
I don't worship things. I'm grateful for things, but I don't worship. And I love things. I'm allowed to love it, but not to the point like I love my faith. If that's, talk about it. But what I found was, I really felt like I let myself down in my attitude with this car when I looked at it. So I washed it on Sunday, and then I said, "Man, look at the paint that this thing could do with a cutback." Okay, but I was so happy when I saw what I did. And then I just knew. So now, I'm now looking forward to completing the task, and it's up for sale. But now I'm convicted that it's going to sell. She's a good car. Someone's going to enjoy it. And she's solid, man. For an 86 Porsche, she's amazing.
86.
A 944, red with the beige interior, just true 944, true 944, big fat guards on the back, and
air-cooled engine.
Solid. It feels like a Miami Vice in it when I'm driving it. All right,
There's a reason why you bought the car in the first place, right?
There's always a reason. There's always a reason. But it's a bit crazy because without saying, I've got 7 cars. It's 7 cars.
You just don't need it anymore.
I don't need it anymore after that. I don't want to tell you how many bikes. Okay, but let's talk about cars.
Sure.
So which Range Rover was it on the 5th of August? Was it the black one or the black one? Which one? And why fucking 2 Range Rovers, mate?
Oh, man. Like, it's just like, it's just a thing, right?
And why both black?
Everything in my house is black and white.
Is it?
Yeah. And neutral colors. There's no like even my kids, their clothes and stuff, it's all neutral colors. Like if I leave the house, I'm bound to be matching my child in some way. Like there's one of them will be dressed exactly the same because it's just the way we do things.
All right, 12th. We're going back to the beginning of the year. 12th of January, possibly another podcast or it was an interview. The smile. It's a big window there, and judging people on oral hygiene about. I'm just trying to think what I said here. So you said that the smile and judging people and their teeth and their oral hygiene, and we're going to go a little bit further in that, where you said statistics tell us that better your teeth, the more money you earn. Yeah, and also people have 6 teeth predominantly missing in their life. Between
so let's go on economic status.
Go.
Yeah, so it's like it's one of those things we don't actively think about, right? It's like, but your mouth and the way you look after it is a really good representation of your health. You know, like it can tell a lot. Like if I look into someone's mouth, I can tell what they're eating. You know, I can tell if they're stressed. You know, because you can see like wear and cracks, and you know, like you can see that they're clenching when they're driving in traffic. You know, you can see all this stuff. You can see the history of their health as well. You can see if someone's had like like mental health issues. You can see if they had past health conditions that have allowed them to get to this point. There's always a reason why things look a certain way, but the reality is society doesn't care. Like with most things, they just see what's in front of them, right? So it's a representation of how you're looking after yourself. So
you spoke about symmetry of the face, the more trustworthy.
Yeah, so we know the studies show like the more symmetrical your face, the more trustworthy you appear. To have a symmetrical face means your teeth generally have to be some sort of aesthetic alignment to have an even feature. And that trustworthiness also comes down to even more serious events. So in the court of law, the more trustworthy you appear, the less of a sentence you're likely to get for an equivalent crime. You know, someone that looks like a criminal is generally going to get, taken to town a little bit more. It's why as well, like even like male, female, like women tend to get lesser sentences for equivalent crime of men, because then not psychologically viewed as being aggressors, so like same, like we're not supposed to judge people by the way they look, but we do, right?
Do you think I've said this before, and I think it's all bullshit when people say they don't judge people. I say, hand on my heart, I judge people, but the beautiful thing about that is that's when I question myself, who the fuck am I firstly to judge that person? Yeah. Aren't they allowed to be in this environment no matter what their background is? Maybe a pub, maybe whatever it is. And once I humble myself down a bit, then I look at them in a different way with love. Yeah. And I think when people say they don't judge, I think I walk in a room.
It's impossible. It's
impossible. I walk in the room and I'm telling you, I'm sussing it out. Not even
for your own safety.
For safety, exactly right.
You have to. Like it's unwise to walk into a room and not, see who's there.
Most definitely.
But the other thing, even for muscle, I always say muscle's not for everyone. Like it's some people visually unappealing, right? You get to a certain size, like even the guys at the gym. I remember bunch of kids coming up. Oh, the chicks must love it. I was like, mate, there's 6 of you blokes here. Do you see any chicks here? I'm like, like the only people that think this is cool is you. Other blokes. Right?
Chris Bumstead said he has more male fans than he has female fans.
Yeah. That's the reality of it.
More male fans than he has female fans.
That's the reality of it. But whatever your opinion is of muscle, visually when you see someone with it, you understand it's hard work. You know what I mean? And that you can respect.
Well, I think as well in our game, I don't know about you, but we check our bodies. It can seem like we're perverts, but we're not. No, meaning because we'll go like, wow, check the shoulders on those and match up with those quads, or great glutes. Even a girl, you go.
I can see an elderly lady walking in the street and see her calves, and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm not checking her out, but I'm like, amazing.
But we're checking out guys too.
Yeah,
we're going like, wow, look at this bloke. Look at his whatever his setup is, from his arms to waistline to oh my god, great hammies on this guy. Look at the calves on this. But it's quite funny because no one understands that.
It's true.
What we do,
Yeah.
even somebody in a suit.
Yeah.
You look at someone in a suit and you go, Jesus Christ, look at it. Look how he sits in that suit. He's got a great physique.
And even the suit thing, right? So there's 2 types of people that wear suits. They wear it out of obligation,
Yes.
right? Which is almost everyone.
Yeah.
Or you wear it because you want to wear it.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
And you can tell the people that want to wear it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
everything is right.
See, the thing
The
is,
pocket square is there. The length of the sleeve of the shirt is exactly in line. There's functional buttons on the jacket. Like those small details, you can tell.
and to be honest,
And I judge that.
And to be honest, I don't even have a suit right now because you know why? Because I don't want to wear a suit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, but once
I'm a suit guy, but I don't like suits.
but when my son was doing his formal,
Yeah.
I just said, because my ex-wife, God love her, she's lovely, she was going to get Yanni a suit. I said, I know her style. I said, no, Yanni, it's me and you.
Yeah.
And even he said, he goes, how do you know how to do things like not so quick? It was like, we're going to go here for shoes, we're going to go here for the shirt. And even when I walked in, I knew I'm not completely up to date or a pro, but this person in this shop is wearing a great suit. You come here, mate. I want to dress this kid.
Yeah,
and I'm
correct.
saying, what do you think this shirt will be? What about this color suit, this kind of shirt? What about for this as a hanky? And Yanni's going like, do I need that? I said, listen, mate, just go with it.
Mandatory. If
and
you're wearing
then-
a jacket without a pocket square, don't.
So we were like ticking off the box. Then I said, right, we need to get you like, I had a watch and I said, right, we need some aftershave. We need to do this. We need to do that. It's just his formal, but he was like, and even when we go shopping now, he's like, what do you want? Boardies, this t-shirt. Right, come with me. We're going. And he's like it's, I just can't walk into a shop and just go wherever. Like, I get when you said you went and got your for competing because you didn't take it seriously. But every little aspect of me is like, I'm on. And it's not about price. I don't give a fuck about price. I give a fuck about style, sit, feel, where it sits. I like the teardrop shows there, right? Beautiful. The shirt looks, like I look at your shirt too and I see everything, how you're wearing it. It's just, I think people take that for granted, but that is the magic, I think, of investing in yourself, investing in things around you, which I said.
It's never wrong.
It's never wrong. When I'm saying investing in this Porsche, I mean, just to polish it, and I realize I've got to do more work to this car. So now, I'm also now going to polish inside the engine bay, and I'm going to polish under the engine bonnet because I want the guy that takes it, I want him to love it. So when he takes it, I hand it over something.
You're proud
really
of
nice.
it.
Yeah. So that's So tell me something also. What is it with dentists? Because I had a family member when they're studying, and it's their first few years that they're always looking in your mouth. And then when you're at a party, they go, look, come here, Steve, for a second. I just want to check something. What is it about dentists checking? At the beginning, they want to look inside your mouth all the time.
I don't. To be honest, I don't. Like, I don't consider myself the typical dentist. So like, but it's true. We're watching. We're watching everything. Like same even with the vet thing. Like I'll be sitting at a cafe and people walking their dogs past. And I'm not doing it on purpose, but I'm working out what's wrong with, like there might be like the stride pattern might be a little bit off, and I'm like, okay, which joint is off here? And
I was looking at my, I've got
the ear position, and like there's little things like that. I'm like, okay, well that dog has sore ear. That one's got a sore hip, like little, like you can't help it. Once you're like, there's people, this is the difference between people. It's like observation is something, it's like a gift that you have to be born with. You can train someone to do it, but you have to be able to do it without trying, so
I think I know what you're talking about, because even this morning I got a poodle, and I got a staffy, and I was looking for a quick walk, and they're really good off the leash, and I was just watching my poodle walk, and it looked like her legs were a bit separated when she was walking. It was more like she was, I don't know what it was. It wasn't kind of flowing. I'm wondering.
You knew something was wrong.
I said, is she okay? Like, she's happy, but even her walk seemed like there's something not right with her. So I'll check her out when I go home and maybe check her diet, see what's going on with her. But she was happy and she was walking around. But even like I said, like you said, I think you either, it can be a curse to be an observer, but
yeah. Some people aren't. Some people don't. They're just, and that's okay. Like, we just wired differently. Like some people, your watchers on people who watch and people who don't.
and sometimes,
and certain
I think
jobs,
it's also people, you can put that down to as well, is some people are great conversationalists, and they can actually see both sides and actually take a point of view, even if they're not typically agreeing with you. They can take that point of view by thinking, look, it's not me, but I can see where you're coming from. But I think it's everything, and that's what makes it kind of, I don't know.
Except sometimes
I don't get on with people well.
I can't handle sometimes. There's some things like people say, oh, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I'm like, no. No. If you're factually incorrect, and we have evidence you're factually incorrect, you're not entitled to that opinion.
But how do you, like I said to you, that's why I'm open, closed door very quickly. And like I said, even when you used to go to a party, my wife knows if I can't suffer fools. So if we happen to be in a party and there's a fool in the room and he happens to approach me and wants to play the fool, I think the room goes very cold.
Or if you can't work out who the fool is in the room, it's you. If you walk into the room and you can't work out who the chump is, you're the chump.
Chris, write that down, somebody. Write that down. I've been a chump too many times. No way. But yeah, no, that's true. I think as well, there's a saying which they say, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you should leave.
Correct.
I mean, it's the same thing. But anyway, there's, like I said, there's a lot of things that with everything you know and everything you feel, hear me out, do you sometimes feel alone?
I guess that's true.
Because I do.
The pursuits of things is a solitary act for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But like with choice, I do it by choice, right? So like even with training, I don't want my training to affect my family, and so I wait for everyone to go to bed. I wait for the evening to wind down. I always say, people ask me like, why are you so jacked? And I'm like, because of reality TV. As soon as my wife turns on the reality TV, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like I'll watch it for a little bit. Yeah. But I can't. So then I'm at the gym. So I'm not at the gym till usually 10, 10:30, 11. Sometimes 11:30 at night. I'm not done till 1 a.m.
But it's hard, like I said to you, because
that's lonely. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Because I'm just saying, it seems like I kind of get it, but
dentistry is a lonely job. A lot of the time you're on your own.
They said that. Correct me if I'm wrong. They said there's a lot of depressed dentists out there. Is that true?
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with the job.
What is it?
It's the person that wants to do the job. You're a very exacting human, right? Like the level of accuracy required is microns. Like if you got a grain of sand in your mouth, right? A strand of hair, like that's that level of accuracy you have to work to, because it's annoying. If you feel that in your mouth, it's annoying. But the difference is so you have to operate at that level. But what's nice about it is the consequence of being wrong by that factor isn't gonna do anything. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna die, right? So I sleep well at night knowing everything I do, if I do it to the best of my ability, at the end of the day, no one's,
it's not life and death.
Yeah. Whereas a vet, like, you can work as hard as you want, and do your best, but, and doctors would have this experience too. Like, you can try as much as you want, but some things are too sick and they're not going to make it no matter what you do, right?
Yeah, I guess. Would that be one of the reasons you changed from vet to dentist?
Yeah, a bit. I don't like putting that on, but like that exacting personality type, is really the bodybuilder's life too. Like, you know, we measure our food, we measure our water, we measure our electrolytes, we measure everything. So that serves us very well in those pursuits. Yeah. But the reality is of the world outside of that, it's not good. You know?
No, it's lonely because at the end of the day, like I know through bodybuilding, but also what you're talking about in our personalities, because I too feel, look, I don't know about you. I don't know. I actually look around me. I think I wonder why I don't have that many friends. I get on with people. Why I don't have that many friends? I don't know why, but I think it's because
you're always in the pursuit of things.
I'm in the pursuit of things, which is, but like I said to you, the hardest bit is in bodybuilding, you can go out to a pub with someone and they go, look, what do you want to drink? And you go, look, I just have a mineral water, man.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I don't really want
and you go, what the fuck are you doing, man? And you go like, do we have, like, now we've got to debate this mineral water part.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, we're going to chat. We're going to have a good time, you know? Yeah. And actually, but it's so hard to even say no to something. Look, nah, don't want that piece of cake. And they go like, why? It's like, it's ever, as a person that trains, or in your case, it's like we're explaining ourselves, and really we should ask them, why are you eating McDonald's?
But even my kids like that. Like,
why you got a big gut
I don't really, whatever they want to do, I don't, it doesn't bother me. Like, it's like, this is my choice, you know, like, I don't, like, if they want to eat McDonald's, they say like, can you pick up some McDonald's on the way home from work? Sure. You know, like, I'm starving to death at this point, and I can smell it, you know, and I would eat the cardboard, that box that the McDonald's could come from, like, you know, I'm that hungry, but that's my choice, right? So like, and even during those periods, they understand, like, oh, do you want to try this? I'm like, no. And then my daughter would be like, oh, that's right, because of bodybuilding.
But you know what's funny?
And she would even say, because you're going to get the pro card this year. Like, she would even at 5 years old, she knew what my goal was, you know? My
kids were so funny because I can tell you how much my kids know. Even today, they still know the same thing, right? They used to go, Dad, do you want some ice cream? Do you want to buy it? And I go, nah. Yeah. Okay. And then the mum would say, how come you didn't ask me? Because they know she's going to bite into it. So they go, all right, just take a little one. But with me, he's go like, no. And it was just automatic, not because I go, oh, no, it's all right. You just enjoy it. Because I like people enjoying their thing. I mean, I've had to learn to share. I'm not a very good sharer, but I've learned to share. Yeah. But the funniest was I'd buy a 4-pack of Magnums. I don't know about you, but I think Monday, Friday I'm eating well. That's I'm in control. Weekends I can let go, right? Excuse me. So I'd go like, here you go, Ruby, Yanni, Giselle, and just this one on the side of the fridge. I'll have that on Saturday. I'd go to open. I go, where's my Magnum? They go, oh, we ate that during the week, but you can go get another one now. I said, you don't understand. It's not about going to getting one now. I've saved it for now. Yeah. Like now I've got, so it's like.
I had that with one tub of ice cream that I had, like, it was like a limited edition one. So I put it in and it got eaten. And I was like, oh God. But look, you know, that's my choice.
No, but it's when I wouldn't change anything, because I think that's what I think. Again, I believe your kids know your conviction, but also know you deliver. Yes, no. What my kids, the one thing I believe I've given them is, he's going to turn up. He said he's going to do it. Whatever it is, I believe my word has been that strength behind, and I think bodybuilding's allowed me to have that word with them. So tell us about. Because you spoke about sacrifices, 8 hours, 10 hours studying.
Yeah.
My cousin is a doctor. His name is George Paponis. He's in 5 Doc Medical Center.
Yeah.
He's he was born in Greece, came here at 2 years old. He's the only non-born Australian to captain Australia. And that's and in rugby league.
Yeah.
Also did Canterbury Bulldogs. That's who I go for. And captain State of Origin. And he was a doctor at the time. And when the team doctor had to go home because he was sick, they asked him, would you be the team doctor on the tour? And I said to him, George, like only 2 weeks ago, because I got my bloods done. Because Scott said, get your bloods done.
Yes. And
I said, come on, like, I've never asked you, like, how did you do it, doctor? And he's had practices and he's sold practices. He's done sports and all that kind of stuff, right? And he said to me, yeah, well, my mates were at the pub. I was studying. He goes, it's all sacrifice. I was determined.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone understands that. I get
it shows where you can get though. Like,
What's that?
It shows with that attitude what can happen. You know, it's like one of the most impressive people I know is Conor McGregor. He's strength and conditioning. It's now his head coach, Julian Dolby.
Yeah,
he was like this star athlete as a kid, star cyclist. Almost made it to Olympics. Became a doctor. Full scholarship, full ride, retired early, jiu-jitsu black belt, like just like the list of accomplishments is, and it's no coincidence that like someone like Conor McGregor trusts him.
Yeah.
You know, he's his team doctor, he's his strength and conditioning guy. He knows everything. Yeah, this guy, and he's quiet. He won't tell you. Yeah. If you see him, he wears a tracksuit. Yeah, he wears a tracksuit. He's always riding a bicycle in the rain. Yeah, he has a list of Ferraris and great cars that you wouldn't. You know, like he's just, but you wouldn't know.
Well, he actually, like I said, I'm assuming that's the thing you were doing. Your mates were out playing, your friends were out, and you were home studying, and then your outlet was the gym. So no wonder, like you're saying, do you see now the sacrifice to what it's got you to? Is that what you're saying? And is it continually needing the sacrifice?
That's why I always say, like bodybuilding, I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for bodybuilding, because it taught me how to do the things that I didn't want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I eat the food when I didn't want to eat it. Mm-hmm. Stay home when everyone's out because I wanted to train the next day. And then delayed gratification. That's the big one. Like you go to the gym for a day, nothing's going to happen. You go for a week, nothing's going to happen. You go for 6 months, maybe you see something. You know, it teaches you time in the game. You know, and then like you can apply that skill to everything. You know, like okay, I can't go out to that party because I'm going to train. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit in my room study. You know what I mean? I know that reading one book I'm gonna learn something, right? But if I read all the books on this, I'll know everything, to a certain degree. Yeah. But then I'll keep reading, it shows you. Bodybuilding teaches you that persistence, and it teaches you sacrifice. It teaches you patience. It teaches you consistency. It teaches you how to manage your time effectively.
Then tell me with that, because I'm going to, sorry to interrupt, because it's going to segue into this and I want to hear this. Because I said to you when I was 50, I took a cycle, right? First time ever. Sure. Wow. It was amazing. I was 90 kilos ripped, which I've never been 90 kilos ripped. Yeah. And the guy told me what to do, put in my shoulder, mate. I used to go to places in Redfern to go get the alleyways.
Well, that's the way it was done.
100%. Yeah. Go in and get syringe packs. Like, it was just amazing experience. And everything was uncomfortable to do. I just, like you mentioned, just do it. I just had to do it. And
it's a tool.
But I also, because to be honest, I blew it up I kind of could have done it better.
Yes, but that's education.
That's because I thought, because less is more, I thought more and more. And that was, I think, where I imploded a bit, so, which is great because that's the only time I've ever touched it. Not that I ever really want to touch it. It's not because I don't want to touch it. It's because I'm not competing. But I've realized you guys, and it doesn't matter if you're on it or you're not on it or whatever the case may be. I realized even when I tried it, wow. Are you telling me I still have to eat like I fucking have to eat? You telling me I still have to train like? You're telling me I have to do more? Like I thought I could just do this and sit back. It was like, oh, no man, we're just giving you high octane fuel. That motor still needs to fucking work.
Absolutely.
So it was. So what I want to ask you is, being, with steroids in the game, and being a vet and a doctor, and we see chemists and all that. You said to me something about researching it, understanding it. It's about that, isn't it, really? You really can't just jump on things like thinking, that's, DECA test, whatever. But it's understanding the whole science and
it's because it's complicated. But the thing is it's not new. Right. No, this stuff has been in use since the early 1900s. So since 1910. Right. So it's like these are over 100 years. These things, right?
Really?
There's that much information there.
Yeah.
Right?
Go on. Yes.
So it's foolish not to know.
Yes.
Like.
Well, I didn't know about 1910.
But exactly.
And been around. Yes.
So then if the material's there, why are you going blindly into this? Why are you experimenting with things that we don't know about? Like, you know, the things like SARMs, and we don't know the risk profile with that stuff. You know, like there's no, you know, like there's rat studies and stuff. Well, we have human research on all of this, right? So why are you taking uncalculated risks? You know, there's it's not safe, right? But there's a safer way of doing it. You know?
So what you're saying is the reason we've got anxiety over this stuff and the concerns we put before everyone and always hit the negative, is because we've just done no fucking research on it. We've never studied.
Well, you're
it
relying on like the gym bro from the You know, like that's a terrible way.
It is terrible.
And then the opposite.
I went with the gym.
The opposite is also true, right? Right now, there's too much information.
Yeah,
so you need to
is.
like the opposite is like now you need to have a good filter is where education is very important, right? Because you need to know what is good information, what's bad information. And it's people are very convincing. Like you don't even have to use that as an example. You can just use food. Like what's the right food? Paleo, keto, fasting, not fasting, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like people are very convincing, and like
I thought I had it, and every new decade I've got a new diet style.
Yeah, that's like the reality is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just have to pick the one that will work for you. But the only way to know is you have to be honest with yourself. Who am I? You know, what am I? What do I like? What do I don't like? You know, and then I can form everything around that. You know,
I didn't know about Scott, the mechanic, made me. Thanks, Scott. He actually told me to go get a blood test and check my testosterone levels. Do you know? My cousin, the doctor, he said to me, "Why the fuck do you want to know all this stuff?" I said, "George, please, man, just tick it." But doctors won't tick it, man. They just want,
so it depends. Do you have to have the right doctor? You have to.
But I just pushed him. I said I went twice. I didn't get what I want. I went a second time. I said, no, you missed some stuff. So we went again, and he goes, who is this guy? And I said, George, just get some of this stuff. It's for females. I said, no, I need to know. He needs. So I sent it to Scott. Thankfully, everything's pretty good. Which was he wanted to know what I was like after a cycle back then, like and where I'm at today, which was good for me to know. But what I've realized, and again, it's food, man, isn't it really? Like, meaning besides the strenuous push,
it's a tool like everything else, right? You have to have, like, if you want to build something great, right, you need to have access to as many tools as possible. You don't need to use them all,
no,
right? But you need to know when is appropriate to use food as a tool, training as a tool, rest as a tool.
And you need you need that background information about yourself, so you know where you're lacking.
And then if that's the PED side or whatever, right? You know, like there's many ways to get there, but you need to know when, and everything's phasic. To go 100 miles an hour, like you can use the car example, right? Right. There's a reason why there's pit stops in a race, because if you drive this thing for long enough, it's gonna break, right? Something's gonna break. You want to fix it before it breaks, right? The body's like that too. You can't drive it a million miles an hour, or else you're gonna break it. Like you can't expect high performance without doing all the things required, and that's one of the problems now especially with the the way that the gym is now. It's like people expect high performance straight out of the gate without like, they have a Fiat. You know what I mean? They have a Fiat and want to drive it like a Porsche.
I think, I said to someone about seeing a lot of the violence, and especially when Sydney shut down with the one punch rule. And what I found was everyone looked at it as if it was alcohol, but I actually, maybe not today, it's a bit different, but I said they need to go back all the way to the gyms. The reason being is, one, these kids are given drugs to enhance. Hear me out for a second. They're doing pretend MMA fighting, and now they think they're fucking MMA fighters. So when they go out and put alcohol together with that, who do you think you are? You're going to think you're Conor McGregor. So what I mean is, when you go to do judo, taekwondo, and you've got a true, call it an Asian master, or this guy's 5 Dan, what's the first thing he wants to teach you is to defend yourself. What's the first thing he teaches you is discipline, not to fight.
But he's also a proper mentor, right?
Yeah.
If your mentor is like some, the trend twins from Instagram. You're like, you got problems.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say to you.
Whereas like, I even had this discussion with a friend the other day. Like, I was like, do you remember when you went to the gym the first time? And he goes, yeah, okay. And I said, I was like wearing a hoodie, trying to like hang out in the background and watch all the big guys, and then very politely walk up and, when they got some free time for some advice, you approached it very cautiously and you kind of went in, like softly because you knew you weren't anything. And then now I'm like, the reason why I brought that up at the time, because I'm watching this kid. He's never been to the gym before in life. He's wearing a stringer singlet, got a tripod set up, and he's doing mandatory bodybuilding poses in the front of the gym, in front of everyone. I was like, what happened? That this is like day one for this guy.
Haven't you noticed?
He's the gym hero.
Haven't you noticed that people are doing like double bicep, back delts, and you look at it and you go, yeah, okay, where's the muscles?
Yeah.
Like what I mean is,
but they're doing it to film it. That's the thing.
But
That's the funny thing.
And that's, I don't like. When you talk about it, I trained in a hoodie even during summer, and the only time we ever showed each other our bodies was come in the bathroom, bro.
Yeah.
And you go in the bathroom and your mates would be sitting on and everyone would take their tops off and everyone would be assessing each other in the bathroom like, oh man, you need to work on this. And then hoodies go back on, sweats go back on. And to be honest, all my clothes were from Lowe's. Yeah. I mean, it was anything that I'd sweat and break in.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's kind of changed a little, but I think, like I said to you, sometimes, like I said, some of the classes, I think a bit more education, but anyway, like I said, it is a good place as well. A lot of people are training. Like you said, I've noticed bodybuilding has changed. Like I said, the sport is, I think, since we're here, I got a feeling men's physique is going to take over everything.
Oh, I don't know. I think classic.
No. Listen to me. In 5 years, men's physique will surpass it all. I tell you. And yes, the big guys. Yes, classic. I think what's coming in is men's physique, and I'll tell you why. Because it's attainable. Because you can go to the beach in boardies and you can pretend where you can't. Like that's your look. Tells me I can go to the beach in that look.
Yeah.
So that's why I think men's physique is going to get more popular because it's attainable. I think you're going to have too many competitors though.
It started going too far, to be honest, and that's why now they brought in the weight cap.
Yeah.
So like,
I've heard there's a lot of restrictions now.
There's a new weight cap coming in, and actually it's a bit of a problem for me because now I have to be conscious of like I'm kind of approaching the pro weight cap. I'm already right at the top. So the muscle got too much because that was the idea. It was supposed to be attainable, it's supposed to be achievable, like but when you got the men's physique guys like bigger in the upper body than the classic guys, at the pro level, like it's a bit of a problem.
It is a bit of a problem, but I think, like I said to you, and that's the problem. I think that even with women's physiques at the moment, I don't know, like they're saying they're not supposed to be upper body like this, but man, they've got some big shoulders on them and even the legs, and look, whatever's going on, obviously they're finding their place.
Men's physique is like a reverse wellness, in the wellness division. The disproportionately large legs. Like, unfortunately, men's physique is like disproportionately large upper body.
It is, but the thing is, when I grew up, that was a certain race, was a disproportional. No one trained legs. Everyone forgot about legs in the 90s, and everyone trained upper body, and they go, man, he's got pencil legs. We call them pencil legs.
But now they've made it clear in the criteria now that despite because they brought in the weight cap, everyone's like, fine, I'll stop training legs. Now they made it clear we're going to judge. Your legs have to still be present.
Good. I think it's important. I don't like seeing the guys up on stage with our good legs. I like legs. Legs has always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
So where are you going with your pro card now? What's your next move?
That's a tricky one, right? Because I am not young, so I have limited time in the sun now. Right?
How long do you have?
I don't know. I've always made a rule that I will do this until I'm not getting better anymore, and however long that is, I'm not sure. It might be 1 year, 2 years. I don't know, because at some point you cannot, you see, every elite sportsman, there's a peak time for them, and the guys that
it's like a sprinter.
Yeah, the guys that are the most glorified got out right at the top. you know, like
That's when you want to get out.
the ones that you feel a bit sad for is the ones that kept going, you know, and their performance started getting worse and worse and worse, and they kept on started getting the L's, you know. But so for me, I think there's an opportunity now for the Masters Olympia in Romania. That is so I turn 40 in August next year, so you have to be 40 to enter that competition. So if I have any, like, I'm not delusional, I know, like, you know, like I actually have no idea where I sit in the pro ranks, right? But if I have any shot at doing well at a show, it'd be being one of the youngest of the older pros, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the strategy. Try for that show, and fancifully, if you win that, you get a qualification to Olympia. And I always say, you know, like, it's kind of a joke to say, but if you made it there and came dead last, I'd still be proud of that, to be on the Olympia stage and come dead last.
Well, the thing is, Jason, that we spoke to, he said, like, he comes in the teens, but he wins Vancouver, he's number one, but up on there. And I said to him, well, what do you want to be? He's hoping he's in the top 9 now. This is what he would like, which is amazing. What you have to go. He's such a
top 10 in the world. That's something.
Yeah. So
incredible.
I think to get there, that's what I'm saying is he's 4 times Olympian,
Correct.
like being there. So he's definitely always up there. But I was listening to a post today from Mike Dedman, and he said, just because you've got a pro card, now you could be at the bottom of the pro league.
Oh yeah, like now you went from being
the best,
one of the best amateurs in the country. Now, you're the small fish now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you might as well, like, it's like starting all over again.
Yeah, so he goes, be prepared that don't think you got that pro card easy, because if you did, and you only spent, he said something like, if you spent a short time getting there with that card, it's going to be a rude shock once you become into the pro league.
And actually, like, one of the sayings is, like, a pro card is a retirement card.
Yep.
Because for some people, they never do anything with it.
I know. Well, it seems like
because
that.
the jump is too big. You know, like it. That's why kind of I wanted to get it in Australia, right? Because there's only 2 opportunities each year to do it here, and it's really hard. Whereas in the US, like, there's a show every weekend. Like, you know, like, you got many opportunities. You don't even have to win the overall in some of these shows. Sometimes you can just get to the overall and get a pro card. You know, so
well, for you to get a pro card just now in this season, and the amount of competition that was there, and
the guys,
and not only the amount of
back to back
champions, and also the amount of guys, and also you said the lone wolves that are coming in that you don't even know the guy that's training in his garage. I think this was probably
I almost didn't win. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
5-4. Like, you know, like, it wasn't an easy decision. You know?
I think it was a tooth comb in that.
The other guy was
picking, but everything about, like I said, I watched, but everyone, even classic physique, I was like, I don't know, man. It just, it's just so tight, you guys, physique and classic bodybuilding.
Yeah,
I was
it's like Jordan missed out in the classic to Tom, and they're good friends. They're both from WA. Like, Jordan's going to Japan, he'll get his pro card there. Like, it's like, but you know, in Australia, there's one. You get one. There's only one given out, right?
Yeah.
When reasonably, all of the overall guys could have turned pro. You know, like, that's the standard here. You know, they're that good.
Did you celebrate it with a drink?
This is a weird one. So, like, we had initially planned to have burgers, and then the plan changed, right? So I'm not a big eater, but to load for a show now, like, I'm eating like 800 grams of carbohydrates for many days going in. So I'm not overly hungry at this point. And on the show day, you're eating a lot of sweet stuff, right? So I'm like, you know, like, I'm not really craving cookies, and you know, you want the taste, but I'm like, anyway, ended up at Japanese afterwards. My first 2 courses were vegetables. I was like, what am I doing? I just, like, came off, like, the biggest moment, and the first thing I'm eating is vegetables. Yes, and yes, I had a beer. Like, you know, like,
I got to say, you know, and I don't know if I said it in a podcast or outside of a podcast. Do you know, when I stress, it's going to sound really funny, and when I'm, like, fucked off, like, stressed, like, don't ask me why, but I usually grab a can of tuna. I know it sounds weird. No, and I eat it. And I think the reason being is I'm about to implode, like fuck off the world. Yeah. And when I eat something good, it calms me down because I go to that. I think where most would have a chocolate or
something destructive. Yeah.
But I've always been go to the healthy option, destructive. Don't ask me why. Even my wife.
It's a control mechanism, right? So like if you're when you feel out of control, if you can grab control.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part when you just said, but for me, I grab a tuna, even if it's olive oil or sweet chili.
Could be go for a walk. It could be
exactly. I've done walk. I said, get me a fucking tuna, and I walk out the front. I sit on the front stairs, and I'm smashing a tuna. I'm going, fuck off, like what's going on?
Then you go to the gym.
Yes, you know, and then I'm back because I have to come back because it's buckled me, whatever's buckled me. But it's strange because some people don't understand, but the way you explained it is correct. What's your gifted body part?
Shoulders. Sure.
Shoulders, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And your weakest body part?
When I was 17 years old, I could do the 50 kilo dumbbells for 6 reps. They weren't pretty, but I still kind of do that.
So you're strong and you got good looking shoulders.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Well, you got big traps too, bro.
Never even trained them.
I know. I was going to ask that question. No one trains them. Yeah. Weakest body part?
Chest. Not for strength, but for overall appearance.
Overall appearance. Yeah.
It's actually my strongest. Like I can move the most weight with it, but I'm obviously not moving it with my chest.
No, I hear your point. I see your point. Favorite exercise?
That's a good one. It's got to be dumbbell shoulder press.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's never been my favorite. Actually, it intimidates me a bit sometimes, shoulder press.
Yeah, that's why. It's like I'm the guy that's like lifting the dusty dumbbell at the end.
You are the only one. It's dusty, all right. At least favorite exercise.
Oh, and that's probably pretty obvious too. It's like anything bicep related.
Really?
It hurts. For me, it hurts. Yeah, I have shitty biceps.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind the. My arms are not bad. My quads are good. My back is good. I think I could do better with shoulders and chest. Definitely. Calves I'm actually getting good at. Actually, my calves are starting to grow at the moment. I don't know. But I'm doing something that Jay Cutler said to do. He said, when it's calf day, do calves first.
Yep.
Right? Smart. Yeah, do calves first. And the other thing is, instead of on the hold, which you hold them up, he says on the stretch.
Yep.
Hold them
both.
And hold.
I believe both.
Go down.
As long as you can.
2, 3, 4, 5. As long as you can.
And then not that long, but like, yeah.
No, 5, man. Like
I know.
2. I mean, 3. Okay,
there is
3.
Actually studies. Yeah. There is studies to show like in that stretch position, without even contracting the weight, there's muscle growth there. Yeah. So
mine
it's not wrong to do it.
Mine have popped. Yeah. And they weren't my best, but they've popped.
But you can apply that to any body part actually, like that stretch position hold.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I've been doing that with chest because obviously it's my deficient body part.
So holding down longer, yes.
At the stretch position, hold and then press.
Do you know back in the 90s that was big? Stretching out was bigger than. I mean. But I guess 80s and 90s, there was no short. It was completely back and completely up. Like no one stopped anywhere. It was just, even with dumbbells or a bench, you went right. Even your spotter would go, come on, further back. And you go, all right. And we had the stretch marks. Yeah. And it'd be, come on, that little bit more, and you go right, and then back.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was.
But the science supports that.
The science supports that. Yeah.
Full range of motion.
Full range of motion, where a lot of people are not doing full range of motion.
Shortcuts.
Oh, everyone's looking for shortcuts.
Always.
I just need some space. I just need some space. I just need some space.
All right, let's go over the body. You ready to go? One exercise, sets and reps. I'm going to keep repeating that, but that's because people probably want to know the sets and reps for each exercise.
Sure.
Traps, you don't train them.
Not really, no.
Okay, that's fine.
Indirectly, yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Shoulders, side delts.
That I love the seated lateral raise for that.
Seated lateral raise, yeah.
I think high rep range for that is usually pretty good.
Like what's the rep range?
Anywhere from 10 to 15.
And sets?
It's very variable depending on the
But like I said, I was gonna,
periodization of the program. Like I'm not a big sets guy. Like,
okay,
you know,
so
like, you know, like it,
when you say not big, what does that mean?
well, like,
Like,
I don't think
Do you go under?
like volume,
Do you go under 3? Do you go 2 sets?
well, sometimes one. Like it depends on
Wow.
but depends on the program that you're doing at the time. Like the low volume is of limited value for sure, but you know, obviously higher volume, as high volume as you can tolerate is shown to elicit the most muscle growth. But I think to focus on that is not as important. You know, it's more progression.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah.
When it comes to sets,
Mm-hmm.
I find I look at it as the size of the muscle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I know quads are quite a big muscle, so I'm assuming you might need a few more sets to what you'd need for a bicep.
Not necessarily.
There you go. I've read
Not
why.
necessarily. Yeah.
Not necessarily or necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Because Jay Cutler also said that he did 20. If it was 20.
20 sets. 20 sets for
20 sets
for most
for the whole body. It
most
was
body
the same for bicep as quads.
correct.
But-
And the studies do support that.
Do they? Okay.
But the thing is it's also a lot of individual variation. Like, you know, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. Like there's terms.
You are a bit of Clark Kent. And you're Superman,
There's some new terms, like Mike Israetel kind of made these things famous. Dr. Mike Israetel. If you want to look that up, he's pretty
Who?
good. Dr. Mike Israetel.
Yep.
Renaissance periodization training systems. Like he kind of clears up a lot of this stuff. You know, like very individually, what's your minimal effective volume? For some people, it's very little. One set is enough for them to grow.
Wow.
For some,
Yeah.
right. And then what's your maximal effective volume? Right, maximal recoverable volume. So how many sets can you take it to and still recover? Some of the genetic elite, 20 sets.
Yeah.
They can do more.
John Torelli did more.
They can do more. Yeah. So some people talk about a ballpark figure of 100 sets for your entire body.
I've heard
right?
50,
but
100, yeah.
But some of the top guys can do 130, 135, like crazy
yeah.
numbers. Like, you know, like, but they're the genetic elite. Like, you know,
Milos Sanchez also said
he's one of those guys.
He's one of those guys, but he also spoke about protein, and everyone talks about your total amount of protein needed for a day, and he goes, "What? You're talking about a general guy that goes to the office? We're talking about bodybuilders.
We just don't know.
Bodybuilders that take what they need. There's no study for that.
Yeah, there's no study for the freaks.
The freaks. That's right, but that's why they have
they're
so
not going
much.
to waste their time.
That's right.
Like, you know, like imagine someone says, "I want you to train this way." And he's like, "Well, I'm the best in the world. Why would I train that way?"
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm winning.
Yeah, that's right. So Milos said that what you're reading is sometimes general studies
for the average
average person. But we're talking about, this is why these guys take so much protein. 1%
of the 1%.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah. So you didn't answer the sets. Come on, someone's going to ask how many sets for that side deal.
Look. Like I would say two sub-maximal sets, one failure set.
Oh, one failure set.
So
Okay,
generally, I would say like one rep before failure, like one run rep in reserve for a couple of sets, and then one all-out set. So
no, I like that.
3.
Okay, 3. Rear.
If you have to push.
We have to push. I have to push it. Rear delts.
Rear delts. Very small muscle, doesn't require that much work. Probably, I reckon, somewhere between 3 and 5 sets per session, couple of sessions, maybe 10 sets total for the week.
And what is what exercise do you like?
Oh, I really like I don't know, I don't really have a favorite, to be honest, but if you know, a rear cable.
Okay,
yeah, a rear cable is probably my favorite.
What about front delts?
Don't.
You don't?
No, because like from a lot of the pressing, I get it a lot. So
okay, a lot of the pressing.
I don't directly train front delts.
Yeah, because kind of incline bench press gives you a lot of press.
Also, my shoulders are very strong, so like if I train them, then it's going to rob my chest. Like it's going to create a problem for me that I didn't have.
Wow, this is amazing how you do. All right, what about back?
I love back. It's like
when
I went into the gym, that's like, you know, everyone like everyone wanted the big chest and the biceps. I saw the guys like they looked like they could fly, and I wanted that.
But that's all.
I wanted that.
That was that's a big thing again in the 80s and 90s was that small waist with massive wings.
back,
And we, because the guys that used to train, we were all judging how big when we said how big we were getting, it was basically how wide we'd be getting, how big our shoulders were, how wide our chest was, how big our back was. Everything was always about the small waist, kind of like everything was like, how wide can you become? So what's your favorite back exercise and sets and reps?
Right now my favorite is like any high-low row, like one of like kind of lat engagement, a lat focus high-low row. Sets, again, probably pretty similar to submaximal, one all out. Reps very variable depending on like I think with back you have to load it, so like 6 to 8 reps works really well. But if you're having trouble with engagement of the muscle, I don't think that's a smart choice. So, like one of the funniest things I see is like people like they grab their lat as they're pull, and I'm like, what do you like? Your lat is back there, like you can't touch that. And I see it all the time. I'm like, you can't. It really confuses me. Like, what are you touching here? Like, I'm like, are you trying to?
Yeah, I know. And also, when you're feeling it, there's something in the back you're feeling, because you can actually tell the compression.
They call it that mind-muscle connection. I don't like that term, but it's true, right?
No, it's true, man.
If you're touching yourself, that's not mind-muscle connection.
No,
that's a proprioception. You're using your hands to,
I think as well, bodybuilding is visualization as well, because you need to. I think you need to see it to believe it, and sometimes you can't necessarily, depending on the t-shirt or the sloppy Joe you're wearing, you don't see it, but you know what's going on. You can feel it. You can look at it. So I think there's a lot of connection that needs to go on in relation.
And it comes down to anatomy. I think also when we're discussing this stuff, people really like it's really simple. Look at an anatomy chart. The direction that the fibers are going in is the direction that you should be pulling.
Wow,
like
I just learned that now.
Really simple.
Really?
Like it's really simple. Like
I'm gonna look at it now.
Like honestly, every single muscle, like the direction, say like an upper chest, right? The upper chest, like the fiber goes this way.
Yep.
Right. So, like, doesn't it make sense? Then you have to press this way.
Wow.
Right. Because if that goes that way, right?
Yeah.
Like like lateral delts or side delts, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Right. Fiber goes this way. Right. Right. If your hand is forward, then that's not. That's not. Like. Something. And then like if you lean forward with your hand up, then now like as you're moving it, you can see the.
I love it.
You can see that, like you literally can see it. And I'm like, you don't have to be a genius.
No.
Just look at the anatomy chart.
I'm going to look at the anatomy chart.
Move your arm in the way that the fiber runs, and you're gonna. It's gonna work.
Very smart. I'm gonna use the philosophy. I'm gonna look at an anatomy chart and start training towards that. Yeah. It's also refreshing for me to try something new as well, which is also what you're looking for in when you train. Bicep.
Favorite movement, I like the spider curl. That's like kind of like old school movement. You leaned over the bench.
Spider curl.
I love that one. And like
sets, reps.
I like a single dumbbell one too, so I can really focus on one arm. I have terrible biceps, so I wouldn't really like. They're decent now, so I always say like the guys that you want to learn from is people with terrible body parts that made them actually okay, because they actually had to try. Like don't learn calf training for someone that has amazing calves.
Well, Chris has got amazing calves, so I can't.
You know what I mean? Like they just have them. Like it's just genetic.
No. That's why I listened. I don't know if he didn't have it, but Jay Cutler said, again, ring him up a lot. He said something about his calves, and when he explained it about you're going to do calves today, and let's say calves and hammies or calves first, and he was right.
John Meadows is the same.
Yeah. So I have seen a dramatic difference, which is amazing, which is good, which is what I want. What was spider curls? How many sets, reps?
I like volume for biceps, so that's probably the one where I would like as many as I could tolerate. So
what's that?
So
18?
Usually, no, not that quite. Like, or over the course of the week, yeah. Probably even higher if I could, like 20, 23 sets total for the week, but split up into 3 sessions.
Number 3, what I'm saying is maybe 2 sets, but how many reps?
I like a range. I like a range. For a spider curl, I want I don't want it to be heavy, so like usually around 12 to 15 for that one.
okay,
Yeah, because it's you want to concentrate on what you're doing there. But like say if it was like a barbell curl, easy barbell curl, like you can load that up if you want.
Yeah, no, 100%. Tricep.
What would be my favorite for that? I do like the overhead movements for that one. That in that like lengthened position, a single arm overhead dumbbell extension. I like that one.
Yeah.
Or a seated incline dumbbell extension where like your arm is a bit higher.
Yeah.
Like a skull crusher style, but with a dumbbell. I think that less chance of ruining your elbows and your wrists.
Sets, reps.
Again, like it's a difficult one. Like triceps, for me, they're a pretty good body part, so I don't need to do too much. So a couple of sets is usually enough.
And reps.
Reps, I like them heavy. So 8 to 10. Yeah.
I find I'm very strong when it comes to triceps. I've always been strong. I mean,
just you gotta have good elbows. That's the problem.
Yeah. And you also have to have a good discipline as well when you're doing triceps because everything can get involved if you're not careful. Like you've got to.
I was a bit of a tool when I was younger. Like I used to do skull crushers with 100 kilos.
Yeah. That's what's ridiculous.
My elbows got ruined from that. So.
Yeah, and also your shoulders.
Don't do any of that stuff.
No, not that you do, but I thought I'd just throw it in. Do you do forearms at all?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Favorite ab?
I think I always say like if you look at any of the strongmen, like. If they all have amazing forearms, right? If you hold heavy stuff, like heavy deadlift, pull-ups, using straps all the time, you'll get good forearms. But if you're relying on straps all the time and you're not lifting heavy, you're not going to have forearms. So,
most definitely. No. I don't know. My forearms are never good, but
you watch like a lumberjack. He's never lifted weights in his life. Freaky forearms.
Abs.
That's a contentious one for me because for the longest time I didn't train them at all. Right. Because to have that tiny small waist, I think training them too much is a mistake.
Yeah, so
especially for men's physique, but it's also critical because the men's physique or classic is like that's like the aesthetic part, right? So you got to have a decent midsection, but you do not want to train it to the point where it's actually blocky. So being very cautious. So I only ever do body weight exercises, and then like I love the hanging leg raise.
Hanging leg raise. I heard yes.
Yeah, that's my
just to a failure.
Yeah, but more or less. I don't have good abs, so like usually for me, like if I can do 3 sets, that would be awesome. But like, I struggle even to do that. But like again,
quads,
pendulum squat for sure is my favorite.
All
time favorite.
Yeah, pendulum and sets, reps.
Again, I think situationally, I like doing pretty heavy, so like anywhere from 4 to 8.
Yep.
But then, like if you're like sadistic enough, a 30 set pendulum squat or 30 set leg anything, 30 rep leg anything will test any man.
It'll break you. 100%.
Especially if it's heavy, like if you can do 30 reps, because remember Luke Shemery and Luke Wood, those guys, Mila Sarkev, they would do that stuff, like 30 reps. Leg press, 50 rep leg press. And I'd be like a teenager watching them. I'm like, holy crap.
I know, it was crazy, but they were
true grit.
Hammies.
My favorite would be, the glute ham raise. But one that's like a full extension and full contraction. Like most people do one or the other. I like going full up down, which is hard because his body weight is actually very difficult. I remember the first time I could only do like 3.
Really?
And like now I can do like 10.
10,
10, 11, 12. But like initially, like they're really hard. Or even like one of those Nordic curls. If you can't do that Nordic curl,
sets, reps.
How many can you do? Like they're hard. That exercise is hard. Like a lot of time they haven't. The new gyms actually have a machine where it's weighted, so you can, because if it's just your body weight and you can't lift your body weight, you're not even doing one at that point.
Of course.
You're not doing sets.
You're
not even doing one. It's like a pull up.
Right?
But like for your hamstrings, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of these new like if you're lucky enough, very rare I see this piece of equipment, but it has a counterbalance weight, and you can put it on your chest, and you can do this movement, and it modifies your body weight, like almost like an assisted pull-up.
Yep.
But it's assisted kind of glute ham raise.
Yeah.
If you got one, if you're fortunate enough, if not, you have to do what I do and just do one. Next week, try and do 2.
I know.
But
I know.
3 years later, now you're doing 10.
What about calves?
Calves, donkey calf raise is my all-time favorite.
There's not many of those around the gyms now.
No, but the best one is,
and that's my favorite.
Yeah, have you seen there's a crappy hack squat. It's called the linear hack squat. It's a crappy one by Hammer Strength. That is the ultimate donkey calf raise machine.
Yeah.
So like it's a terrible quad exercise, terrible hack squat, like in terms of like the biomechanics of that piece of equipment. But I would buy one just to have it as a donkey calf raise. Yeah. So if you ever seen one, that's what it's for.
I still love.
It's a calf machine, not a quad.
I haven't seen a donkey calf press machine for a long time. Do you train the tibialis?
No.
It's funny. I put it on my stories. I don't know if you saw it on Muscle Talks.
Yeah.
I had the tibialis movement because at our gym, I got a hardcore gym at Carlton.
Yep.
And they've got a tibialis.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, my gym has one. I just don't.
Yeah, I just do it because I've never had really good calves, and it
looks good.
Yeah. No, look, I just give it a go. I think I hit 2 sets and both kind of to failure. And
then you couldn't walk for 3 days.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, look, we've come to the end of the podcast. Before we sign off, your time to promote yourself. So you can tell where can people find you, mate. Promote your dentistry, promote whatever you want.
I haven't been very active on socials until recently.
I know.
Even sadly, like I always said, I would never do it, but you get the IFBB Pro, and then all of a sudden, like that day, you change your Instagram handle, so it's Dr. Ash _IFBB Pro now.
Is it? Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and my dental clinic is listed on there in the bio there.
Yeah.
So you can click through to that. And then just trying to be a bit more active on there, and we'll see where that goes. Yeah, because I figured I should become more visible over time.
I think, not to take away the promotion part, but I think that, again, where the difference between bodybuilders and the business of bodybuilding, and there's a massive void in between that. And I think you probably, being a businessman you are, and the type of person that wants to win, I think, you probably need to start working on your socials, not just so for your ego, but for your business, of who you are, because I think that you've achieved so much that I think you can monetize it in a way that also helps you do more and get to Romania. And also, like I said, it's a business in itself, and you're and I think you're business, so you might as well, like I said to you, probably need to work. It's good
advice for sure. It's just a matter of it's just another thing on top of the other things you do, and like what we say, like if you want to do, if you don't make excuses, just do it.
Like I said, even with Chris, sometimes I say to Chris, I don't want to tell him to do something, or vice versa. I said to Chris, it's easy just not to do it. So what do you want to do? And the hardest bit is to do it, and we just do it. But it makes sense in the end. But then the worst thing is that, we're going to have to do it again.
Yes.
So it's never ending. So we just kind of have to keep going with the grind. Mate, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great.